What's up, everyone? It is Specs back at it again with the Week 1 Woods Season 5 draft battle. It is going to be me versus Jer. SD. So, let's just take a look at his team and then we'll hop right into the battle afterwards. So, let's look. Let's have a look-see. So, he's got 11 bonds. He's got 11 bonds. And threat number 1 is the Dracozolt with Sandrush. So, he has a Sandsetter and Sigilyphs, as you can see, a little bit of ways down in the bottom. But, yeah, this is gonna be scary in a sense. And honestly, the scary thing about this is that he can run both Sandrush and Hustle. And since I can't tell until he misses or I outspeed him, like, I have to play as if he has both, essentially. So that's the scary part. I do have Seismic Toad, which is like one of the best counters to Dracozolt, but it can be worn down over time. It's a very scary mode. Yeah, so Dracozolt, definitely terrifying. Mana Buzz. So his hazard remover, I should say. He's got knockoff, U-turn, roost. So he's gonna be annoying. It's a very bulky mon, and he's gonna wall a good amount of my team, honestly. If I didn't have Heliolisk and like Clef and Chandelier, like this thing would be scary. The reason why I say Chandelier is because Specs Fire Blast 2 KOs it, which is amazing. I didn't end up actually bringing Chandelier, but so Chandelier, it is a scary mon, but I decided not to bring him in the end for something else. Sigilyphs, as you can see here, Sandsetter. It's most likely gonna have Smooth Rock, so to extend Sandrush turns. It's got a lot of moves. Stealth Rock is important. It's got Stone Edge, Substitute. Well, no, sorry, not Substitute. Earthquake, Explosion. I think it also has Body Press. It's got a lot of stuff going for it. And this thing is really bulky. Base 80 HP and like 130 defense and 80 defense in sand, while it's a rock type. So that's buffed up by one stage. Like, this thing's hard to wear down. Thank my lucky stars it doesn't have recovery, or like good recovery at least. Next is Rabombi. Honestly, I thought it was just gonna be like a sash lead. I did not put any thought into Rabombi at all, besides it getting up webs. That was my main concern. So yeah, although in hindsight my webs didn't really matter that much. But bear in mind that I had like 2 hours to plan this, so I was just kind of flying through. Let me explain what happened. So basically, I told Jared that I'd be finished with the team by like the weekend, aka I was going to do it today, Friday evening, but and then he hit me up about doing it today, and I was like, oh shit, really? And he said he couldn't do it over the week. He couldn't necessarily do it over the weekend, and I just built really quickly, and that led to some chokes and move sets. But whatever, we'll get to that later. And I didn't think some months through. So yeah, Rabombi. I thought it was just gonna be like some sort of sash lead. Honestly, it's kind of dumb of me. Well, in hindsight, but yeah, I was more concerned about Stun Spore and Sticky Web than what actually happened. So yeah, Duraludon, honestly, I thought would be a massive threat to my team as well. The only like good resist, he has Steel Dragon moves, the special, that shit is going to destroy my team. Like, it's faster than my Chandelier, so I can Draco it immediately. Clefable does not want to take Flash Cannons. Seismic Toad can take Flash Cannons, but can't take Draco Meteors. And yeah, so like it has a lot of Steel Dragon just does really well against my team because I didn't have a real resist. I had nothing that could beat both of them basically. Heliolisk, resists Flash Cannon, doesn't resist Draco. Like this thing, I didn't really have a good switch in if he predicted correctly, essentially, which is the scary part. So I really thought he was gonna bring it. Mr. Mime Galar, also, it was like. So basically, on our Excel sheet, we have like an Excel sheet for our draft. So like we have like we have the Pokemon that every single team has, And so, because I didn't see its sprite, I they have sprites next to their names. I didn't see its sprite, so I didn't even consider it until like 20 minutes before we started our patch, and I was just like, oh shit, this thing could destroy me. Like, I thought if it ran this like nasty plot set with freeze dry, psychic, and rapid spin, this thing would completely demolish my team. I was like +2, psychic is gonna like 2-hit KO, especially defensive clef, and psychic ice coverage does really well against my team. You know, it's pretty much unresisted except for Weavile, and getting rid of Weavile is not super duper hard. If he had, you know, if he got up rocks or like stuff like that. I mean, like he could even run Focus Blast and just like smash me there. So like, this thing was actually really scary, but I forgot to consider it. So he has 5 other mons. So those were the first 6. The first 6 that I covered were the things that I thought he was gonna bring. He didn't bring it, and he did bring most of them, but except for one. These are the 5 I thought was less likely to bring. So Quagsire, he's the most likely I thought he was to bring if I got something wrong. You know, he got Water Ground typing, you know, Water Zerb, Unaware specifically, probably, because like I was thinking about running SD Weavile, and then I remembered he had the Unaware Quag, so I was like, probably not, I should just run Banded. So, yeah. Yeah, this thing was a good, decent physical wall. Yeah, and yeah, I don't. That's pretty much it. It has Scald, you know, Recover. Salazzle. This thing also is kind of scary as well. Again, Fire Poison coverage beats most of my team except for Chandelure. So like, you know, it's kind of the case with Duraludon just like actually freaking 6-0 my team. Salazzle was like 6-0 if you get rid of this thing. So yeah, and you can do toxic stall shenanigans. So like even my Chandelure would like still have a lot of trouble dealing with it too. And yeah, this thing could have been really scary too if he brought it. Golisopod, wasn't super worried about this. The only thing I was worried about from it is spikes. But as for everything else, you know, first impression, liquidation, I'm not scared of that stuff. I have like a clef and a Seismitoad. Like, I don't even really care about it. Although I do like it a lot in terms of design and like how like it's a massive attack stat, you know, all that stuff. Flaky, no. The only thing I would have thought as to why he would have brought it was grassy terrain. Grassy terrain. So like, you know, having earthquake damage or whatever. Like, I was like, at the same time, it's like, it's such a bad. I don't want to say it. It is a kind of a bad mod. I mean, yeah, it's not fully evolved. I mean, what do you expect? Like, grassy terrain is a good, nice advantage, but like, and you get to have damage to like Salazzles or like earthquakes to Salazzle and like Dracozole and all that. But like, I couldn't see him sacrificing a team slot for it basically. And then Drifblim, I was like, there's no way he's bringing it. This is like a meme pick, and I'm not even gonna bother prepping for it. So yeah. So my team turned out to be something like this. So I had Spadef Clef. I don't even know why I had Spadef Clef at the end, because like, basically Duraludon was still gonna completely neuter me. Even like it would 2-hit KO me with Flash Cannon, and it's faster than me. So like, even if I was like max defense, like max Spadef like didn't really make too much of a difference. Like, I just took it better. That's pretty much it. Like, I might have been able to like protect stall and maybe get some health back, but like, it's a risky business. Toad. I had to bring Toad. He had Sigilyphs. He had Dracozole. Like, this is prime Toad hours. So yeah, classic Stealth Rock, Scald, Earth Power Protect, whatever. Resurrect. So Resurrect, I literally spent like 2 minutes planning for this. I feel so bad because like this thing actually could have helped a lot if I had thought things through more. I just had Sleep Power Spikes and stab moves, and I put Sash on it for some reason. I don't even know why I put Sash on it, because I like completely forgot he had Sand, and like he could have gotten up rocks. Like, Sash could have been broken so many different ways. I should have put like Leftovers or something, because if Robombi ran like an offensive set, this would have actually been able to tank Moonblast, because you know it has good Spadef. I could have run like a specially defensive Rose right here with Synthesis. you know. But I didn't. So sad. Although Synthesis would have been nerfed by Sandstorm, so it wouldn't happen too good. But you know, still. Next, Choice Band Weavile. This was like one of my win cons. Like Icicle Crash, like he didn't really have a resist to it if I remember correctly. Like he got smashed by Icicle Crash. And then Low Kick is there for Gigalith, Ice Shards for priority, revenge killing, and knockoffs just for getting rid of items. You know, it's pretty standard Weavile. Volt Switch. I just call Heliolisk Volt Switch. Yeah, so Heliolisk is Specs. I just ran Timid. Like, I could have ran like some EV. I could have taken some EVs out of it to like outspeed like Mr. Mangalar. Like still outspeed Mr. Mangalar and have some HP. Like, gist of it is I didn't have enough time to make fancy EV spreads, so I just did 252, 252, and like everything pretty much. Yeah, so I just ran Volt Switch, Limbo, Hyper Voice, and Grass Knot. Grass Knot was there for Quag in case he brought it. And that's, yeah. This is literally just for Volt Switching. And not much else. Conkeldurr, this was another star on my team. Like, Weavile plus Conk it just goes to town on him. Drain, Mach, Facade, and I didn't care about Drifloon, so I put Defog as my last move, just for some hazard removal. Because, again, I was really afraid about webs for Rombi. But, you know, Heliolisk and Weavile would have been pretty neutered if he got webs up. And Roserade, so, like, yeah, webs would have been pretty bad for me. So, yeah. And I didn't give a shit. I didn't give it a frick about Drifloon, so I just, like, I didn't even bother putting knockoff on it. Yeah, let's get into the battle. By the way, my computer sucks. I forgot to mention that. So, it's gonna be, like, PowerPoint slideshow for you guys. I'm sorry in advance. Yeah, but let's get into the battle. So I led Heliolisk. So I was thinking about how I knew he was gonna leave Rabombi. I just didn't know what the set was. I just thought it was Sash lead. So I had formulated an idea to beat Sash Rabombi, like, and get rid of its webs like immediately. So basically my idea was I go Heliolisk, I Volt Switch out, and then I would do like a shit ton of Rabombi, and then I would go into Weavile, and then I would like Ice Shard. It was something like that. I don't remember exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, so I basically would try to revenge kill it in a way such that he would bring out Gigalith and or Mr. Mime. No, sorry, not Gigalith. Yeah, okay, calm down. I was trying to make him bring out Gigalith, and so my Conk could come in and defog the hazards away. So that was my thought process. He was not Sticky Web lead. He was actually Specs, which, looking back on it, would have done a major chunk to my team. If I ran a better Roserade set, it wouldn't have done so much. But yeah, I just wasn't thinking. Yeah, so you know he U-turns out, brings in Gigalith. Yeah, I felt like he could have just gone to Quagsire there. Because, you know, I mean, like, who doesn't click the electric move turn 1? I mean, because, I mean, like, Quagsire isn't even, like, something that I'm too worried about. Because, like, I have a Conkeldurr, and I have a Clefairy Bowl, not Clefairy. Yeah, like, I'm not worried about this thing at all. So, and I have a Roserade, too. Like, this thing does not, I don't care about Quagsire. So, you should have just went into it. Well, I don't know what I just said. Well, I just mean, like, you should have probably gone into the ground type. I don't know. But, I mean, like, it makes sense, too, because, like, you're also playing it safe by making a mid-ground play, so that makes sense. Anyway, I Volt Switch out, I go into Conk, and I get my Flame Orb off, so now I can't get status by Toxic or whatever. And now I just click Drain Punch. If you look at this team, I just click Drain Punch, and it just works. So, Drain Punch is 50 to the Quagsire, and Facade has higher power than Drain, so I just go straight for Facade, because nothing really wants to take a Facade, and there goes Quagsire. So I get the first kill. I took a lot of chip with Sand and Burn, but it doesn't matter. So I switched out because I just didn't want to get Moonblast. I was max HP, but I just didn't want to get hit by, you know, like a Moonblast. I didn't want to get hit by Moonblast. I'm sorry. I knew that Conk was important, and I had to save it. And yeah. So I go into Resurade, and then I realize it's Specs. For judging from the damage roll, I'm just like, oh shit, Specs really does a number on me. So I just get up a spike here. I predicted him to go in Mana Buzz because Overcoat prevents Sleep Powder, and Sludge Bomb doesn't do much, just Mana Buzz. So I was like, you know what, screw it, I'll get a spike up. I'm going to try to force him to defog so I can get in something better to like force it, to like pressure it, essentially. So yeah, and then where'd the spike go? Why is the spike gone? Okay, there's a layer of spikes down. It's not showing up for some reason. That's weird. Okay, anyway, so I go Clefable. He U-turns. Yeah, okay. I mean, because I felt like he should have really gotten rid of hazards, because with Chip, a lot of things just die to Mach Punch. Like, it's not even like significant amount of Chip either. Like, Mr. Mime, if it takes like 30%, or like it takes like 30 to 40%, like it was gonna die to Mach Punch, and that's not hard to get on a grounded ice type. You know, like stuff like, you know, Sigilyphs also probably died to Mach Punch. I didn't calc it necessarily because I knew I was gonna be faster than Sigilyphs, but you know, just like a lot of things could have died to Mach Punch, and just like, yeah, I don't know. Hazards really. That's why I brought Resurade, because I just needed hazards to like pressure him a lot. So he went for U-turn. Okay, so it goes Rabombi. I'm just like, so I know it's Specs now. So I'm just like, he's probably just gonna go for Moonblast. So I was like, it does 40% to me. I can get the health back later. I'm just gonna teleport out. So that's what I do. Yeah, and then I bring Weavile because I'm faster than Rabombi. I'm at 383 versus 381. Actually, it was 382 because why not? I had like that extra 4 EVs to use. I just put into Spit F. I don't even know. So yeah, I was like, okay, so I'm just gonna kill something like Icicle Crash here, and yeah. Well, not. I don't think Gigalith. I don't want to calc it now, but I mean, Gigalith is either gonna get 3-hit KO or 2-hit KO. Like, you know, it's nothing on this team appreciates Weavile's presence. And so, you know, I go for Icicle Crash. You know, easily kills the Rabombi, and then I see the Icicles move to the left, and then I'm just like, what the heck? So that was the worst possible scenario for me. I lose one of my win cons right away, and just it's bad. It was really bad. That miss really sucked. It basically gave him a chance to win because I could always have revenge. His Rabombi might have been always able to come in and revenge my Conkeldurr, but my Weavile could always come in and revenge his freaking Rabombi. Like Weavile was gonna look at Icicle Spear and look at his team. Like, Mr. Mime is not even a resist because it has like 60 HP and 50 defense. Like, no, that's not a resist to Bandit Icicle Crash. And then Gigalith was at like 60%, like 70% already. So like I just need to like hit him a couple more times and then it would have died. Dracozolt would have only been faster than me in sand, and so otherwise I would have just killed it. And Band Ice Shard does like at least 50%. Mana Buzz like gets 2 KO'd for sure by Bandit Icicle Crash, if not just killed outright. Like, missing Icicle Crash there was just the worst possible scenario to happen. We would have been at 6-4 in that scenario, and then from there he would have gone to, like, I can predict like everything that happens here. So he goes to Dracozolt or Gigalith. Either way, I go into like Conk. I go to Conk or I go to Silent Sword, depending on the scenario. I wall whatever comes out. Dracozolt gets walled by Toad, and then Gigalith was like, I don't really care about Stone Edge. So like, if I had a Weavile, like I didn't give a shit. Like I had a Conk. I can just throw out a Conk now. So like, yeah, this would have been really bad. God, it sucked. It really sucked. So yeah, Weavile goes down. So I go to Roserade, and I'm just like, I was like, frick it, let me try to sleep powder something, and then he went to Overcoat, and stupid Mana Buzz. I was just kind of like, screw this, I'm just gonna lose my Roserade, I don't give a crap. And so, yeah, that happened. I go into Clef because I wall, he goes Moonblast, and I get a Wish. I protect here as he goes into Gigalith, nice play. Yeah, so I am not Fizz Def, so I don't want to stay in on this thing, so I assume he's just going to go for Stone Edge, so I just go straight to Conk. He does. He misses. I guess that mattered, but like, if I had a Weavile, it definitely didn't. So yeah, I get back up to near full after Drain Punch and Manibus. And then I Mach Punch him, so I make sure he doesn't recover because I'm slow as hell. Because I'm not running any speed. Like, him losing Mana Buzz was also a pretty bad play in hindsight, like for him, because with no hazard removal, like you know how easy it is for me to get this chip on everything with the rocks, and with all I needed was a layer of rocks and some spikes, and like he would have died. Like everything would have been chipped really easily. So thank God the Mana Buzz is dead, I guess. Goes Rabombe, he has to, and I just go Clef because it's at 81%. Goes U-turn, good play. Goes into Zolt. This thing does not touch me. Unfortunately, without Hustle, it loses a lot of power. So, as you're about to see, well, substitute leftovers, it does absolutely nothing. 24% is just insulting, given how strong Dracozolt should be. Like, Hustle both, he should, like, do a shit. Like, so, well, from this, I obviously can tell it's not Hustle. And that's pretty good for me, because it doesn't 3-hit KO my Toad or anything like that anymore. It doesn't do anything scary. Because Toad now pretty much infinitely walls. And because you're thinking like, well, I mean, it's going to get chipped down eventually. I had Protect, so what? Dragon Claw does 24%. I get 6% back, and then I get another 6% with Protect. That's like it. So I did 12%, essentially. So that's like an 8-hit KO. That's not, yeah. I infinitely wall Toad, and I had Earth Power. So like, I didn't give a crap about this Dracozolt at this point. Like Sandrush, yeah, it's scary, but like Toad just walls it, so whatever. I get upright rocks here, and that's pretty much game. Because, so I went into Helios here. I did it because if it was Nasty Plot, I couldn't give it an opportunity to set up. So if I wanted to Clef and he Nasty Plotted, then he would have been able to 2-hit KO me with Psychic. Yeah, scary. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to go Helios here. I don't want him to set up, and if he Scarf and happens to kill my Helios, then I know that Clefable walls it eternally. So that's what I did. Turns out he was Scarf, so whatever. I go Clefable, and yeah, he has to switch out, and that seals his fate. That Mr. Mime was dead, because after Rocks and Spikes, he would have died to Conkeldurr or Mach Punch. With the Rocks and Spikes up, Rabombi died to Mach Punch. Gigalith dies to Mach Punch. And the only thing left is Zolt, which slides into walls. So, I mean, the game's over already at this point, essentially. And so I was like, whatever, I'm just going to teleport. It doesn't matter. So he gets good damage on me. Like, okay, so now I get 1-hit KO by Moonblast from Specs Rabombi. It does not matter. Let me repeat. It doesn't matter at this point, because Mach Punch killed everything except Zolt, and Dracozolt would have gotten eternally walled by Toad. There is no way he could have won outside of like some like burn flinching with Fire Fey. Like that's the only way I could have thought he would have won. So like, you know, I just drain here. I get a little bit of health back. You know, just that 4%. He goes into Mr. Mime, hoping that Mach Punch doesn't kill. It does, unfortunately. So, yeah, dead. He goes into Dracozolt to scare me out. Makes sense. I just go into Toad at this point. It doesn't matter. So, Dragon Claw does pitiful amounts of damage, and I just spam Earth Power to kill the Dracozolt. He goes for sub. You know, whatever. He just delayed the inevitable at this point. I get up to 78, he Dragon Claws me again. I'm at like 51. Earth Power again, and I get back up to 57. And so he goes for Bobby, and